It's interesting because I truthfully feel like for a while this place was a safe space of mine, and then I lost it there for a second, and then I completely got it back, and then I could never come back. If you've been watching my vlogs for a little bit, then you would probably know that I came to Honolulu like back to back almost 3 times in a row, and that third time I hit one of the lowest points of my life, like mental health wise. So honestly, this year, like 2023, has basically been a journey of, you know, getting on correct medication, making myself feel better, and I have gained a lot of progress in that area, and I'm very happy about that. But that trip was that, like, I hit my lowest point, which I slightly mentioned in that vlog, was January 20th or something like that, earlier this year. I'm gonna close this door, 1 second. I love having the door open when I can, just to like feel the real air, the beautiful Hawaiian air. It's loud out there, obviously, because it's raining and it's rush hour, so cars are honking and driving by. Going back to my story, after that happened, January 20th, I did not come for almost 2 months, and then I was able to work a trip out of Salt Lake. I picked it up to Honolulu, and Sumi was able to get into one out of Atlanta. And so we basically spent the layover together, and that, like, it's funny how nervous I was going into that trip. Not nervous to have fun or to be with Sumi or anything like that, but like I felt like I had lost this safe space of mine. Like this layover being a safe space. That's the only way I can, honestly, those are like the only words I can find to kind of describe the feeling I felt. And coming back here in a better state of mind, coming back here with Sumi and having such an incredible like 24 hours with her was me reclaiming, honestly, this is a safe space. And it has been such a rough summer being based out of Salt Lake, not having any time to pick up trips. Things have died down a little bit, and I had the days off. I had quite a few days off in December actually, so I managed to pick this up, and I just feel so happy. It's very rainy and gloomy out there. Like it's only 6:30 p.m. but it looks like it's like 10 p.m. because the cloud coverage is just very heavy, and you know, it's misty out there. But tomorrow is just supposed to be windy. It's not supposed to be rainy, so hopefully it stays that way. I have no plans. I would just like to maybe go to a couple bookshops, like local bookshops. I saw 2 that were like had new and used books, and those are my favorite bookshops because I feel like you can find some gems. I know I already have a low and raspy voice, like naturally, but it is a little bit worse if you can tell. I had a cold. I'm recovered now, but it like completely took my voice from me for like 3 days. So this is day 2 of it being almost back to normal. I feel like I have another day or 2 before it's completely back to normal. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. So I'm gonna go get myself some food. You know, I probably had plans to walk around more tonight, but we'll see how that goes depending on how it looks outside. I have not been able to be excited like for a trip. I haven't even been to New York since the end of September. And like, if you watch my videos, you know how much those New York trips mean to me, and I haven't even been able to get one since the end of September. It's been like almost 3 months, I guess. So I just feel like we're gonna make some changes here with work. Like, I know that's like kind of vague and abstract. Obviously nothing is changing with my job, like as far as my job goes, what I'm doing, where I'm working and all of that, but I just feel like I need to make some changes, and this is like invigorating me and giving me the like confidence to be able to do that. So thank you for listening to our fireside chat tonight in my favorite Honolulu layover hotel, and I'm gonna fall apart if I don't get food in me, so let's go. Good morning. My voice is slightly better. This is like the first time or second time I've talked today, but it almost sounds normal. Almost. Shockingly, it's 10:30 and I'm about to leave. I say shocking because usually I'm not out of the hotel till afternoon. I found a bookstore called Village Bookstore, and I think everything in there is used, so I'm excited to go see it. It's kind of in the opposite direction to Waikiki, but then I think I might head over to Waikiki eventually, maybe to eat some lunch or something like that, so we shall see. That Thai food was incredible. That was from Maylee's Thai in Ward Village in Honolulu. It was amazing. It was called the Vegan Evil Princess, in case you're wondering, but it was amazing. They have such a good, like, such a big menu, like you could get anything you wanted there, but that was delicious. That used bookstore was a really, really cool place too, and I got quite a few things. I bought this big book because it was $2, and it says The 12 Days of Christmas, a Feline Classic. And I just feel like this is a book like that I can keep forever, you know what I mean? And you know how much we love cats. And then I saw these two coloring books of the Nutcracker. I do love the Nutcracker. Nutcracker is one of the things I love most in life. I don't know why, it just brings me so much peace and comfort and joy. I'm obsessed with the Nutcracker, and there were coloring books and they were $2. So I was like, if I ever need to de-stress, or if like my nieces or nephews come over around Christmas time, we can color in the coloring books. I got a bunch of these little golden book classics, like these that used to, I think they're starting to sell them again, but like, you know, they have the like silvery or goldeny spine. I'm gonna give them to my nieces and nephews for Christmas. I just thought it would be fun to give them like a used book, because I feel like, of course I could go buy these or like a kid's book from the store, but it would cost $10 instead of $2. And I just feel like these have more character in them because they're used, you know? And then the last thing, I saw this, The Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I, earlier this year, read Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and then previously, like 2 years ago, I read Mexican Gothic. I love those books. I love the kind of like Mexican Gothic horror she writes. It's so fascinating. Anyways, the entire store was used books. Like, I don't think there was a single new book in that whole thing. It's interesting because I still feel a little off center. If you follow me on Instagram, you would probably see that at the very end of November, one of my soulmates, like truly my soulmate of a cat, but she's just like one of the souls who's my soulmate, you know what I mean? Kind of a little suddenly, and long story short, we took her to the vet thinking it was something else, and then the blood work levels showed up for it to be like her kidney issues, which we've known she has kidney issues for a while. I had just started a 3-day trip. Sam took her to the vet. That was gonna be fine. The vet went fine until he called back later with the blood work, and then kind of recommended that we go to an ER vet. So I landed in Phoenix, and I was gonna vlog this trip. Like, I was excited. I think I had like a 17-hour layover in Grand Rapids, which I've never been. The hotel we stay in is really nice, and I was excited to like maybe see one or two things, but I landed in Phoenix and I was sobbing. Sam was sobbing. At the beginning of this whole process, it wasn't looking good for her, according to the blood work and the ultrasound and the tests that they were running. I had talked to my manager, and I had talked to, we have like not an emergency line, but like kind of like a helpline to figure out situations like these. And the person I spoke to was the kindest human that I could have encountered in that moment, because that was one of the most vulnerable moments of my entire life. Like, I was just sobbing, thinking I was gonna lose my soulmate, or potentially lose my soulmate. So they were able to pull me off the trip. Obviously, this results in like, it's not just like I just got to leave the trip for fun, or like, there's no repercussions. Like, obviously it does kind of like stay on your record, but everybody was extremely understanding, and they actually booked me a seat for a flight home from Phoenix back to Salt Lake. So I was on the first flight of the morning, and she's home now. Long story short, she was in the ER vet for 5 days. Very expensive. But she's home now, and she's basically acting normal, but we do give her subcutaneous fluids every day. So like an IV basically of fluids every day, and she's still on an antibiotic just to like kind of get rid of an infection that could be going on in her kidneys as well. I basically spent 2 weeks at home after that. Like, it's the middle of December now, and I spent 2 weeks at home because of that, because I was just like, I had to be there. I'm the one who's been giving her the fluids. Sam gave her the fluids on his own today, but up until then, like, I'd been giving her the fluids, and I just had to be there at home. But I could have dropped this trip like in a heartbeat too. Everybody wanted it, but I wanted to wait till like 2 days before the trip to see how she was doing, and was doing fine. So I was like, I have to work, I have to make money. Like, we just racked up a massive ER vet bill, so I'm happy to be here, but I still feel like a little off kilter, a little bit like I'm not very centered, but I know I need to do stuff like this for me and like getting out and working because I had spent so much time at home for 2 weeks straight. It's basically 2 p.m. now though, and pickup is at 8:40 p.m. I think I want to try to like walk around for 2 more hours, like in the Waikiki area, and then probably just turn around, come back, shower, and then try to take a nap. I need to try to take a 90-minute nap if I can, because we work obviously the red eye back to Salt Lake tonight. No more buying stuff for me though, because I have spent too much money already today. I'm at the airport in my car, just got here. My report time is at 12:59, which is in 21 minutes. I had a standby last night, which I wasn't used on, and then I woke up this morning to them calling me for this trip, and it is not a nice trip. I'm just gonna be really quick and then I can jump on here maybe tonight, but one leg to Chicago, but I will have like a 3:45 a.m. wake up call in Chicago. That is 2:45 a.m. Utah time. And you want to know when I fell asleep last night? 2:45 a.m. So it's not going to be great. I'm going to have to try to fall asleep at like 9:30 p.m., which we know is just not going to happen. So it's time to suffer, you know. Let's go, I guess.